gang? Welcome back to another Level Up training slash podcast. Hope you're doing very well. We are going to talk very quickly about meeting your clients at their level. I think that a lot of coaches, they don't understand why their clients are leaving them very quickly soon after being onboarded. And it's a couple of things. It's marketing. It's also the way you sold to them. It can be a little bit too quick. So what's essentially happened is they've said hello, or they've followed you. You've tried to talk to them. You've brought them in. You've kind of got lucky. You brought them in, and then what's happened from there is they don't really know what online coaching is. So they pay, and then they're in, and then they're kind of like, I don't like this, and then they'll fuck off. You also haven't built like a relationship, so that's also a reason why people piss off. However, there is another reason why this happens, and that is basically what we're going to be speaking about today, and that is not meeting your clients at the level that they're at. Okay, this is more so specific to younger coaches, or maybe like inexperienced coaches. The reason why I'm making this video is quite essentially, it's what I struggled with when I first started coaching, which was basically like, where is the client at and what do they actually need? Us coaches, what we want to do is like over deliver at all points. So the premise is there, the heart is there, you mean well by doing this. However, you're basically overwhelming the client. So what happens is, say for example, you've marketed to a client who is very new to training, new to lifting. So they're brand new. They have gym anxiety, they have a lack of gym confidence, they have no knowledge about nutrition, calories, nothing. No knowledge around sleep, habits, nada. And what's happened is you've onboarded them and you're trying to wow them, and you're giving them macros, you're giving them a precise meal plan to hit, for example, you're giving them a split, like a training split, a 4-day training split, a bodybuilding split, for example. And what's happening is that instead of spoon feeding them like you should, you're overwhelming them by pretending that they are a mini version of yourself. Okay, so you're not meeting the client at where they're currently at. So they're a new client, they're literally like a very inexperienced person in the gym and outside of the gym, they're very inexperienced, and what you're doing is you're giving them almost a bodybuilder style of nutrition protocol and training protocol, something that could work if the person had been training for 4 or 5 years and not seen any gains, started to loosely track macros. Now you're giving them some sort of structure. If you gave that sort of structure to someone like that, they'll take off. However, what's happening is that potentially people are coming into your service, getting overwhelmed, and then pissing off. And you're like, I give the best service possible, all them kind of things are in your head. But basically what you're doing is you are, again, not meeting them at the level. You are kind of giving them something that's here when they're here. So what you have to do is basically go, right, okay, they suffer with gym anxiety, they suffer with gym confidence, they don't know anything about macros or anything else like that. At the start, all you would do is give them literally like nothing, which sounds really bad, by the way, because you're like, they're paid, they get nothing. All you would effectively do in that situation is you would give them, or talk to them about giving you a food diary. So they would basically track their food for 1 week, give them a food diary, or they give you a food diary. You have a look at their habits. You can then build a little meal plan in week 2. So instead of overwhelming them, giving them macros, meal plan, the week 1 is essentially like, what are you doing and how can we fix this? For some people, it could be quite simple as stop eating so much oil, or stop having so much sugar in meal 2, stop having so much milk in your coffee, stop having so many coffees with milk and sugar, right? So if the goal is fat loss, you can quite simply, instead of giving them like precise meal plans, you can quite simply just say, remove milk from meal 3 because you're having like 4 coffees a day. You don't need 4 coffees a day. You probably can get away with 2 and start losing weight. Okay, again, you're meeting them at the level. Then what you would do is progress up. So you'd move with them. So once they're comfortable with, okay, I need to do this, I'm losing weight, fantastic, right? Then you can start moving the dial up when they're stopping to lose weight or stopping the kind of like weight loss journey. Then you can switch things up. Okay, they're getting more gym confidence because you're giving them like a 1-day split. then a 2-day split, then a 3-day split. So you're moving with them, you're progressing with them, you are teaching them, you are building habits, versus do this precise thing and get to work. And then all of a sudden they're like, I don't want to do this anymore because I can't commit to it. I can't commit to the program. You probably heard it like 1,000 times. It's because you're overwhelming them. So do that. Alternatively, if you're like, I don't want to work with these clients, then don't market towards them. If you don't want to work with Gen Pop clients, stop marketing towards them. Because again, if you want to work with Gen Pop clients, you're probably going to have to do a lot of that shit. Food diary, stuff like that. If you're thinking, well, I want to work with elite bodybuilders, stop talking about a lack of gym motivation and stop talking about really basic shit. Push it up a level, okay? So yeah, meet your clients at their level. Okay, stop overwhelming people. We've all been there. I've personally been there. Okay, cool.